Hey guys, Level Cap here. Today we're going to do a good old-fashioned Battlefield 1 weapon review. This is the SMG-08, one of the two new assault weapons that came out in the Name of the Tsar DLC. I've taken a while to get around to it because, frankly, I thought some of the other weapons were more interesting, and I wasn't quite sure what the point of the SMG-08 was. Statistically, it seemed like a weird weapon that didn't necessarily fit in, so I thought I would play with it pretty extensively and see if I could make it work, or work well anyway. I had no problem topping multiple servers in multiple games. First place, highest KDR using this gun, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's a decent weapon. Now, if you pick up this weapon and you're thinking, this is one weird looking SMG, in fact it looks more like an MG, well that's because it is a machine gun. It's basically just a chopped down machine gun to fit more of an SMG profile. It's based on the MG-08, and this weapon was only ever a prototype. I never really saw extensive use in World War I, but that doesn't mean we can't have fun with it in Battlefield 1. Now, if you're like me and you like to dig into weapon stats on simthic.com and really understand the inner workings of a weapon in Battlefield 1 or how it's supposed to be balanced, the most glaring thing you'll notice with this weapon right off the bat is that it has an incredibly low damage output. It shoots 450 rounds per minute, making it one of the slowest firing SMGs, well actually the slowest firing SMG in the game, and it also has a relatively low damage per shot at 23 maximum damage. This makes it pretty much the slowest time to kill automatic weapon in the game. And so you might be thinking, why did DICE put this in the game? I'm going up against people spamming me with automaticos, the most popular weapon in the game that shoots 900 rounds per minute, and I'm supposed to defeat those guys with a weapon that shoots half the rate of fire and has half the damage output? Seems kind of ridiculous, and it is at times. Sometimes I would get into a firefight, in a straight up firefight with somebody who had an automatico. I'd be 2-3 rounds into them and then they just light me up with the automatico, and that was that. It felt quite unfair at times using this in those types of scenarios. The main benefit of this weapon is very, very low recoil and a large box magazine of 80 rounds. And admittedly, you can get a lot of work done with 80 rounds. It lets you kind of suppress people when they get behind cover, so even if they peek out, you usually have bullets flying in their direction already. And if people aren't looking your way, you can take out quite a few enemies. In fact, that's where the cooler clips of this video come from, is just people not being ready to take me out, having bad aim. I have enough ammo so that I don't have to reload, and I can take out a whole squad of enemies. It's not common, and any confident player can easily end my kill spree, but it does make for a couple cool clips or a couple cool moments here and there. Of course, the big box magazine would be more impressive if there weren't other SMGs that could also perform on the same level of ammo, but then we've got the Hellriegel weapons. The Hellriegel factory has a good 60 round magazine and shoots a hell of a lot faster than this weapon, making it far more effective for clearing squads. Sure, it's got a bit more recoil, so maybe you won't be as efficient with your ammo at further ranges, but ultimately you're going to need to kill fast in order to stay alive in this game, and this gun just really doesn't do it. Again, once I kind of learned the benefits and the pros and cons of this weapon, I could adapt my gameplay to try and be more effective with it, and I was effective overall. It can extend out a bit further than most SMGs because of the low recoil, but again, if you're in a stand-up firefight between a medic or a machine gunner and they know where you are and start shooting first, generally speaking, you're gonna lose. It's sort of like an adaptable weapon that's okay in every situation, but just not good in every situation. I don't fully understand the design principle behind this weapon. One theory is that because it has such low recoil and no need to reload, that it is kind of the ultimate novice weapon. Like if you're just getting into the battlefield and you suck at controlling recoil and you don't want to have to deal with reloading intelligently between engagements, then this is a decent weapon for that. The only problem with that theory is that it's stuck behind a DLC and unlock requirement, so novice players are not going to have access to this weapon right away. Fortunately though, the unlock requirements for both variants of this weapon are not difficult. To get the factory variant, that's the one without the optics, just the iron sights, you have to get 15 kills with the MP18 trench variant, and then you have to get 10 more kills with anti-tank grenades. The anti-tank grenade kills can either be from destroying tanks with people in it, or for just getting infantry kills with the AT grenades. I think the fastest way, honestly, is just getting infantry kills with AT grenades, but if you get lucky and blow up a fully loaded tank, that's 5 kills right there, and you're already halfway on your way. Then to unlock the optical variant, which comes with a little red dot style sight, you need to get 50 kills with the Automatico MP18 trench. This should be easy peasy. The Automatico trench is one of the best guns in the game, and it should obliterate everybody you come across in close quarters, so no problem there. The trickier part of this assignment is then to get 5 tank kills with anti-tank mines. And so you might be thinking, oh, this is easy, I've gotten plenty of anti-tank kills, but when you're actually trying to do it, it can be a little bit more difficult than you think. I recommend playing on Amiens Conquest if possible, putting 2 mines in a street somewhere. Tanks will come out of deployment and they'll usually run over them and die. Sometimes the lighter vehicles will do this as well and take away from your tank killing possibilities. Other tactics are also playing on Conquest game modes, getting behind tanks and placing mines down behind them, getting them to back up, run over the mines and die. Remember, you got to put down 2 mines in order to get that instantaneous tank kill. So double up your mines right next to each other. And also remember that if you put a mine down next to a tank and it's not getting detonated, shooting that mine with your pistol will actually count as getting a kill with your pistol instead of the mine. So that's unfortunate if you thought you were going to try that tactic. It doesn't quite work like that. Now, when deciding between the 2 weapons, are you going to go with the optical variant or the factory variant? The differences are very, very minuscule. I ended up enjoying the optical variant a little bit more, I think mostly just because the sight was easier to track on my target, but the actual differences between the 2 weapons are that the optical gives you technically more accurate shots where your spread actually starts off at a lower number, and the factory variant lets you recover your spread at a much quicker rate once you stop firing. So basically, if you want a less accurate weapon that recovers faster, or a more accurate weapon that recovers slower, that's what you're choosing between the optical being the more accurate that recovers slower and the factory being the less accurate that recovers faster. The difference in performance is really minuscule. Personally, I think the better players will be able to take advantage of the optical version better, as stopping and firing repeatedly with this weapon is just like a recipe to get killed. If you have time to actually stop and recover your spread mid-firefight, I mean, like, you're probably going to be dead because the damage output is already so low. You really don't want to stop firing once you start firing with this gun. At further ranges, it can make a little bit more sense, but even then, I would say the optical variant is probably preferable. Now, I believe this weapon was designed to use relatively high caliber rounds. It sounds kind of like shooting the M60 in-game, except if the M60 did like hardly any damage to your opponent per shot. The next big weapon balance patch is actually making some significant changes to most of the weapon categories. This gun is getting a damage upgrade from 23 max damage to 28 max damage, which is going to mean 1 less shot to kill your opponent. Then again, many of the other SMGs are getting upgrades. The Automatico is getting a very, very small upgrade, so we could see a nice shift in balance overall, and the SMG 08 might require another review at that point to see how it stacks up to the other ones. But then again, it's not the only SMG getting an upgrade to 28 damage maximum. The Hellrigol is also getting a nice upgrade to 26 damage maximum. And so I think that's going to be a fan favorite once the patch hits. It's going to be an incredibly effective SMG. And I think the MG08 is still going to sort of sit where it currently is, which is one of the lower damaging automatic weapons in the game. Anyway, if you're a completionist like me and you just want to unlock every single gun in the game, then certainly you're going to have to go for the SMG 08. But if you're looking to just spend your time unlocking weapons that you think you'll be using a lot in Battlefield and you're looking for good, high damage DPS weapons, well, the SMG 08 isn't it. It can be fun to play with, but it can also be pretty frustrating when you're going up against good, competent players. Anyway, that wraps it up for this weapon review. As always, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for more Battlefield coverage in the near future, especially with that new weapons patch. And I'll see you next time. This is Level Cap, signing off.